Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Sports Scene. So we're just going to go over first of all the midweek European games that we need to go over. So do you want to start with the Champions League
Yeah, start with
on
Champions League.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Well, we'll start with English team. So Manchester City played Borussia Mönchengladbach and ended 2-0, and it was more than comfortable, really.
Yeah, it's pretty dominant.
Yeah, I mean, City missed a lot of easy chances as well, so it could have been a lot more. Um, but they've got 2-0 win, two away goals. Can't really see Gladbach coming back into that now, to be fair. I think they had one shot, which was in the 93rd minute,
Wow.
last kick of the game. So it was pretty dominant. Yeah, but I can't see them putting in anything
Yeah, there's nothing
posing
happening
any
over
danger.
here.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much one foot into the quarterfinals for City.
Yeah.
But I think the question that everyone is asking is again, can City go on and win all four trophies? And would that then make them the best team that England has ever seen?
Well, I mean, it's hard to argue it. I know this season they've not had like a strong opposition because a lot of the times when you see these massive teams, they're doing one of two things. They're doing the Arsenal's Invincibles, where they just don't lose for 49 games or whatever it was, or it's like a City Liverpool where the other couple of seasons ago where it came down to, a couple of points and both teams breaking records. Like Liverpool obviously would have broken the record if City hadn't done more points. So
Yeah,
I think a lot would be made of the fact that you didn't have a massive opposition. Even with the Champions League at this rate, no one seems like the only danger you can kind of see in there is Bayern. Like none of the other teams really look like they're gonna be world beaters.
yeah. I think that's the only issue, really, isn't it? Like, if you not the issue, but I think that's what people would say if City went on and just cleaned up.
Yeah,
I think that's what people would say. Like, obviously, your Real Madrid isn't your Real Madrid of old. Your Barcelona isn't Barcelona of old. Like, Liverpool are having a dip this year.
yeah,
I think you've really got Man City, Bayern, and PSG that are on form, if that makes sense. So, I think that might go against them, but I think it'd be hard to argue that they wouldn't be the best team that's come out of England if they do the full sweep.
yeah. I think especially if they do it as convincingly as they look like they could do. Like if you go into the next round and beat a Bayern and then maybe beat a PSG in the final and then win the title by 10 points, like it's looking maybe more. Beat Spurs in the cup and then I don't know if you've got in the FA. Is it Everton?
Everton away, yeah, in the
So,
quarterfinal.
so it could be like a potential Everton, then United if United get through. I agree it would be difficult to not call that team the best, or if not one of the best teams to come out of England in the last God knows how many years.
Yeah, I think for me, I think if City got to say the Champions League final, I think the dream final would be Man City Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a class match.
I mean, that's a cracking game for the neutral as well, surely.
Yeah, I think you've got even like Pep coming up against his old team,
Yeah.
Sane coming up against Man City, and it be in the Champions League final. And I think it'd be a cracking game because they're all out attack. City are all attack minded. I think it'll be a class game. Be a chess match as well
Definitely.
with the two managers.
Seeing how your defence deals with the likes of Alphonso Davies and stuff like that would be interesting. That type of speed. Like, I suppose Kyle Walker's a good match for that because he's quick.
Yeah, depending on who they play on each side. I know Sane's rapid.
Yeah.
Would they put him up against Walker? Would they put Gnabry up against Walker?
Yeah.
Or do we even play Walker? I would against Bayern just for the pure pace.
For the pace, yeah.
But you never know with Pep. He always seems to throw a spanner in the works when you look at the team sheet. So
yeah, definitely.
I think that would be my dream final. But again, PSG as well would be a good final as well. So you never know.
I think either of them would be a good game.
What we'll do as well during the City Gladbach game, Cancelo yet again was absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
he was first class, especially when he was playing left back, and that's not his natural side.
Yeah,
He was the way he just where Pep gets him to kind of play in midfield whilst we've got the ball.
it's kind of like wing backs.
Yeah, so he kind of when we've got the ball, we'll have a back three, and Cancelo will play next to Rodri in like centre midfield, and he's up like it's mad. You've just not seen it before.
Yeah.
But then when we haven't got the ball, he'll drop back into left back, and then we'll have a back forward again.
Yeah.
It's kind of, but his crossing ability, gets both goals was because of his balls in it. They were just first class, but he's probably been one of our best players this season. To be fair,
It's obviously
even though he wasn't that good, he's since we signed him from Juve, he's had quite a difficult start. But this season, he's been top draw.
Well, like you say, that type of strategy is obviously working. You're not conceding many goals at all. Like one of the best defences in the world currently on form. So it's definitely working. It's like you say, it's hard not to see City at least being really competitive in all four competitions. So it's definitely something that could happen.
Yeah, as I say, I think the only thing that would, I think Europe-wise in the Champions League, is I think Pep can outthink himself sometimes, and that kind of hinders us a little bit. But if he just carries on playing the way we're playing now with the same tactics, and I think on our day we could pretty much beat anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that's the final that I would look forward to. Bayern City, that'd be a top draw match. We could just quickly go over the other game on Wednesday night was Atalanta against Real Madrid. I tipped Atalanta to beat Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I think they got a late goal.
Yeah, I think
1-0.
Mendy with the goal, I think.
Yeah. Mendy. Atalanta had a red card in early on. I think it must have been in the first 15 to 20 minutes. Bit near had a red card. But yeah, I thought the game could have been different without the red card. But as I say, they probably would have been disappointed playing that long with 10 men and then conceding right at the end to lose it.
I mean, it could have been worse. Is the only way you've got to look at that, isn't it? It could have been, especially with the away goals. If you shipped 3 or 4 away goals, then go to the Bernabeu could be a difficult one.
Yeah, then it's all the first legs are over now, and
you've got
pretty much
Chelsea 1-0 up and Bayern 4-1 up, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the group winners won in the first leg, so it could be some interesting quarter-final ties if all the big lads go through.
Yeah,
I think the only team that topped the group and didn't win was Juve.
Yeah,
they lost 2-1 to Porto. Porto was in Man City's group, so I think that's the only
topper of the group that didn't win.
Yes, so. But then again, you'd probably expect Juve to turn that round second leg. So again, all big boys could still go through, which could mean some big ties in the quarter final.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the Europa League. So I'll just run through the results and then we'll quickly discuss them. So Arsenal 3-2 winners over Benfica with a late goal, I believe, from Aubameyang. Winning 4-3 on aggregate. Leicester falling 2-0 to Slavia Prague, so 2-0 on aggregate after a 0-0 first leg. United Sociedad 0-0, so for United 4-0 on aggregate. And Spurs winning 4-0 to win 8-1 on aggregate. Easy wins.
Yeah, I think the only shock was Leicester. Leicester
Yeah.
going out, losing 2-0 at home, which I didn't see coming, to be fair.
Yeah, I believe Rod just came out and said like that one was on him. His tactics for the game were all set up wrong and stuff like that, so he's taking responsibility for that one.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think he's ever been that good in Europe either. I think he's got a really poor record in Europe.
Yeah.
You think of what he's done for Leicester domestically, like fighting for top 4 the last 2 years now, but he's been really poor in Europe, even when he was Celtic manager.
Yeah.
Poor record. Possibly even Liverpool manager as well. I can't recall he ever got Liverpool that far.
Yeah.
So he has got a really poor record in Europe, which is quite surprising because I really like him as a manager. Mate, I think he's underrated anyway. So, you don't really see managers coming out saying, you know, it was my fault.
Yeah.
Got the tactics wrong, so fair play to him, really. But I think that wasn't the only surprise result that I can think of.
Yeah, I expected everyone, like the winners, to win. I obviously didn't expect the Arsenal game to be that close. But I believe one of the Benfica goals was like a massive mess up by was it one of the Arsenal midfielders? I forget who it was. But I know
it was
Ceballos or whatever his name
Ceballos,
is.
yeah, Danny Ceballos.
I know there's a lot of anger on Twitter about that when I was looking. But you know,
yeah,
they're just it
was just same old Arsenal, really. They're just poor defensively, and they just got away with it, really.
Yeah.
I think Benfica, as soon as Benfica got the second goal, I think they sat back too much then, and then allowed Arsenal to come on to them.
Yeah, they really depended on that away goal, didn't they?
Yeah. But the subs that Arteta made, pretty much worked. Every single change that he made worked.
Yeah.
So I think that could have possibly saved his job as well, though.
I did see a lot of people saying he has to go if they lose that match.
No, the season
don't qualify.
Yeah, I mean, the season would have been over in February.
Yeah, 11th in the league currently.
That's what I mean. It's poor for Arsenal, like. But
it is, yeah.
I think that definitely saved his job. But
true.
You have to praise him because the subs changed the game, didn't they? So.
Yeah. United, that seems like they just kind of coasted with the 4-0. Didn't really do much. I was watching it on and off. It wasn't that interesting.
Yeah, I know the tackle, the penalty that they gave away was clumsy by Dan James. I don't know what he was doing diving in there.
Yeah.
It was a shock.
It was awful.
But yeah, I don't think the only surprise was him starting Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, in a game that didn't need to be in.
Yeah, especially if he could have got injured as well. Imagine if he would have got injured and had a long injury.
Exactly, the games like we've got coming up.
Yeah, so that was a surprise, but I think he got taken off at half time anyway, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
So, it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and then Spurs 4-0. I caught a highlight to that. Dele Alli, what a goal! That's all I could say. What an absolute banger. Someone's been watching Giroud, as you said.
Yeah, I mean it's Giroud scored the overhead kick for Chelsea, and then I think that game was on Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Spurs game. So then, which one would you say was better?
I thought Dele Alli's was better just because it was like right in the corner type of thing, but both great goals.
Yeah, I thought if I was to score one of them, I would have preferred to score Dele Alli's.
Yeah.
Because it was better, but possibly people are saying Giroud because of who it was against.
Yeah, I suppose that's a hell of a keeper to score a goal like that against.
Yeah.
Like.
So, but I think just taking the opponents out of it, like technique and where the ball's gone and stuff like that. I think Dele Alli was not a lot better. I think it was a little bit better.
Yeah, great goal either way, both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll push on to the Europa League draw, which happened earlier today. And so United drawing AC Milan Spurs have got Dynamo Zagreb away, Spurs are away, and Arsenal away to Olympiacos. So I know we've already spoken in the group chat. You think that's United out of the Europa? How do we think the rest of the ties will go?
Pending. Sometimes the Europa League's a bit tricky. So I know United will go out there and try and win the competition.
Yeah, it's a chance at a cup, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure AC Milan will be. I'm not too sure how they'll take the tie, because I know they haven't really been playing a full team through the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Like I know Ibra didn't play yesterday either. They went through on away goals as well. I think they drew 3-3 on aggregate 1-1 on the night. But they have got a really good team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think with the first tie being at Old Trafford as well, I think United are a lot better away from home than they are at home.
That's been the thing this year, isn't it?
Yeah. So the reason why I think AC Milan will win and go through was the first leg's at Old Trafford, and if AC Milan possibly get a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 win, I think AC Milan will do the typical Italian thing, second leg, and just sit back and just say, break us down, which I think United struggle against. So
well, historically, this season.
Yeah, so I think that's why I would tip 18 man to go through, personally. But I think the Olympiacos Arsenal one's interesting. That's who knocked them out last season, was it? If I remember rightly.
Possibly, yeah.
I think Olympiacos knocked Arsenal out last year with a last-minute goal, and then Wolves then knocked them out in the
next round.
In the next round.
Yeah.
Olympiacos have got a really good record at the Emirates as well. So it's not, when you look at it on paper and you think Arsenal versus Olympiacos, you probably think Arsenal.
Yeah, but we're thinking the Arsenal of old, aren't we? There. So.
Yeah. So Olympiacos have got a very good record against Arsenal. So I don't think it's going to be an easy tie for them. But you'd probably like to think that they've probably got enough to go through.
It's also it's like you say though as well. Arsenal, this is their season now, so they have to throw everything they've got at this tournament and try and win a trophy.
Definitely, and I think because if you win it, you get Champions League.
Yeah.
So realistically, if they look at it, I think they're 11 points off top four with about 14 games to go. So realistically, that's probably your best chance now to get into the Champions League. Definitely. Is by winning that competition. So I'd be very surprised if they don't take that seriously.
Yeah.
But I think Spurs will take it seriously as well, because they're having a poor year, and it's Jose Mourinho, and he typically wins a trophy wherever he goes. So I think they'll dispatch so that'll be I think that'll be quite easy for them.
Yeah, I don't see Spurs struggling in that game. I know the first leg's away as well, so for Spurs and Arsenal, it's important to get a goal in that first leg. United, it's more important to try and lock it down. Even if you go 0-0 in the first leg, at least you're opening yourself up for the away goal advantage in the second.
Yeah, I think if United get a goalless draw, possibly be a decent result, because as I say, you can go and get an away goal, and then AC Milan need to score two, so they're going to have to come on to you pretty much. But I think if AC Milan go to Old Trafford and get a score draw or even a victory, then United could be in big trouble.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
So that first leg will be massive, I think.
Yeah. Right, so looking ahead to the football on the weekend, City welcome West Ham, first versus fourth. Could be a massive game. Another big game, Chelsea versus United, fifth playing second. And then one that I've noted down is Leicester Arsenal, simply for the fact that United and Leicester on equal points, so that could be a big game for United's position. And also, as you say, Arsenal still under a bit of pressure to try and close that gap, so could be an important game.
Yeah, and for me, the game of the weekend is Chelsea United.
Yeah.
Obviously because of who the clubs are, and obviously Chelsea have somehow fought the way back to the top 4 race. With Thomas Tuchel, they've not lost. They've only drawn a couple and they've won the rest, so they're in some good form as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that game goes. I've been trying to work out who I think's going to win, and I keep
flipping sides.
I keep going to Chelsea, and I think actually no, United are really good away, so I might lean towards them. But I might sit on the fence and say a draw.
Ooh.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw as well. I don't think it'll be like a 0-0, or I think there'll definitely be goals in the game.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be 2-2. Yeah, but it is one where I've leaned towards Chelsea, then United, then back to Chelsea, then back to United. So if I keep doing that, I'm going to go for draw.
Yeah, I'm going to be bold and say 3-1 United. I have a feeling like big games United seem to get up for some reason.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like Chelsea are a team that are going to attack us, and that's when those pacey strikers can get in behind. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 optimistically to United.
I think United have had a good record recently as well as Stamford Bridge, haven't they?
As far as I remember back, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with me 2-2 draw. As I say, the Leicester and Arsenal game's big. Mathematically, Arsenal can still fight for the top 4, but I think if you look at it realistically, they should put all their eggs in that Europa League basket and just completely go for that.
Definitely.
Leicester will try and bounce back now because of what happened in the Europa League, so they're fully committed on the Premier League now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a tasty game as well, definitely.
Well, the way I was seeing it is like, if City can beat Leicester and United beat Chelsea and then City beat West Ham, that's 3 teams above them that they would gain points on. Because obviously West Ham 4th, Chelsea 5th, Leicester 3rd. That's 3 points they're gaining on them. So if they're 11 points off you guys, or off top 4, then becomes 8. If you can start picking up victories against those teams, there's still that chance to climb up there. And especially with everyone's inconsistency this season, it could still be there.
Possibly, yes. You do only need a couple of results to go your way. I think if there was more games left in the season, possibly. But I think they've got some tough fixtures coming up as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's one of them, and I don't think a manager would go into the game and not try and win every single game that he's in.
Yeah.
But I just think you've got to look at it realistically and say, we've got more chance of qualifying for the Champions League next year by winning the Europa League.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then,
personally, but as I say, Leicester are very good in the Premier League, so Jamie Vardy likes playing against Arsenal as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So, I think my predictions would be, as I said, with Chelsea United 2-2. I'm going to go with a Leicester win over Arsenal.
Okay. I'm going to go for a draw in that game. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester.
Okay.
And City West Ham, I'll go 3-0 City.
I'm going to say 2-0. West Ham played pretty well against United defensively, and not so much going. There wasn't that much of it. I know it was an FA Cup tie as well, but they were still pretty solid. So I think a tightish game. I think you'll get one, and then it'll be like similar to the Spurs situation where you manage to get through again because they have to try and respond. But I'm thinking about maybe 2-0. I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I like West Ham. They've done a good job this year. I think their signing they made off Slava Prague, that Souček, been a class player. Again, I just think we'll have. Just can't see anyone stopping us at this present moment in time. I think we've got most of our players. I think there's only Aki that's injured now.
Yeah.
So we've got most of our players back. Aguero got minutes against Gladbach as well, so he's nearly fit for the running.
Yeah.
I think we'll have too much, but I think we'll need an early goal.
Yeah, that could help massively, to be honest.
I think we'll need that early goal, definitely. Yeah, but I want to go 3-0.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2-0.
I think there's is there any other crucial games on? I know Liverpool play Sheffield United.
I didn't see any massive games. There's a couple of big games for the bottom sides, I think. But I don't think there's any massive movers at the top.
Yeah, I think the only really other massive game is we'll say massive game because of the two teams, but Liverpool, Sheffield United, because of Liverpool need that 3 points.
Yeah.
They have to get those 3, especially with us playing West Ham, who were 4th, and you playing Chelsea. They'd have to beat Sheffield United to close the gap on that. It's a big chance for them, I think, because they play Chelsea the week after as well, I think.
Right. Okay.
So that's a massive game because of they need the 3 points, I think. Yeah. But I think they will. I think they'll beat Sheffield United personally.
If you're a Liverpool fan, you'd like to hope so, wouldn't you? Because obviously United slipped up against them, but they've been terrible this season. They've been 3 points for most teams, so you would like to hope that they'd win that one.
I think if it was anyone else apart from Sheffield United, there's a chance, but they don't pose anything attacking wise, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna heavily rely on the the injuries they've got at centre back and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I don't think they'll just have too much going forward. I think Fabinho's fit as well.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, surely that's a chance now for Klopp to put Fabinho back in midfield.
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you?
And then play Phillips and Kabak at centre back.
Yeah.
Because I think Henderson got confirmed today he's out for about 9 weeks.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, so that's probably the best chance he's going to have now to Fabinho back in midfield, which I think will be big for him. But just another football news that I wanted just to clear is obviously Euro 20. Well, now it's Euro 2021. Apparently there's talk now that it's just going to be hosted in one country instead of multiple countries, and that could possibly be England. By the time the Euros come to England, we're going to possibly be out of lockdown, possibly. So that could mean obviously fans get to go to watch the games as well, which could be a big factor for England as well. Obviously playing in the home country in the major tournament.
Yeah, it's massive for revenue for clubs that have missed out on all these ticket sales and stuff like that, and businesses around stadiums and hotels. It's a massive boost to the economy as well as England's chances.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier to come to England for other countries as well, because certain countries aren't letting. Like we've seen with the Champions League games and stuff like that, they've had to go to a neutral country to play because of the likes of Germany and won't let these types of countries in. So it would make sense for it to come to England. I think we've only got that quarantine for 10 days or something, isn't it? So and
by then
it makes sense.
Might not even be a thing.
Well, yeah, true. Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting. I think that'll boost England's hopes.
Yeah. Well, there'll be another summer of footballs coming home.
Possibly. Although my tip for the Euros is Portugal.
Yeah, I mean they were good last time.
I mean, just look through their team.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Literally, just look through the whole team. It's unreal.
We've had that in the past, though.
Just off the top of my head now, for Portugal, right? Ruben Diaz, centre back. You got Cancelo at wings back, at left back or right back, whichever way you want to play. And then you got Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. Like, the team's literally stacked with world-class players.
You got the young lad at Atletico as well. I always forget his name.
Yeah, João Felix.
João Felix as well.
They're just stacked with world-class players.
This is true, but you know, you can do the same for England at the moment. I mean, you know, look at the potential and the players that we have. You know, like you got like Phil Foden and stuff like that. And you know, on his day you got Rashford and Jadon Sancho. There's so many good players. Like, we should be a good team.
But we've had better teams in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot better for me. Like, yeah, your Owens, Shearer, Beckham, Gerrard, Scholes. You know, Joe Cole was class for England. Then you got Ashley Cole, Ferdinand, Terry, Gary Neville.
And we still haven't won anything.
But you never know. As I say, I've said loads of times, I would use this Euros now to bed in the young English lads that we've got. Definitely. So they're definitely ready for the next World Cup.
Yeah, like your Fodens and your Greenwoods and stuff like that. Sancho. Give
them like big tournament experience, and then they're definitely going to be ready for the World Cup instead of just throwing them into the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I agree that England have got a lot of talent now in midfield, especially.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see who he picks for the friendlies in March as well.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see that. Right,
so, yeah.
Moving on from football, we've got UFC on Saturday. UFC Fight Night, Rosenstrike versus Ghani. So you've got
the big boys again.
Yeah, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, 11-1. His last fight was a TKO victory against Junior Dos Santos. Cyril Ghani, 7-0. Also, last fight was a TKO victory against Junior Dos Santos. So yeah, two big guys that can strike. You know, Rosenstrike, as we saw against Overeem, carries that power into the final round, into his final punch. Really, for me, I thought he flapped a bit against Ngannou, because Ngannou practically sprinted across the octagon, windmilling punches at him, and he just didn't seem to know what to do. I thought, to be honest, he was clearly losing the fight against Overeem until he landed that punch as well. So,
yeah,
not seen Cyril Ghani in any trouble yet. But then again, JDS is probably the first high-level opponent he's had so far. I think he fought Tanabosa before that, he's a good fighter, but he's not of the experience or the level of JDS really. The only difference I can see, I don't know if Rosenstrike's got a ground game. I know Cyril Ghani's got like 3 or 4 wins by submission, so you know that could be a potential way of him getting a victory. Yeah,
that's like I've said in the past. It's when the big lads fight, it's hard to predict.
Yeah,
because they could just like we've seen in the Curtis Blades. The Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis fight. Like the fact that I thought Curtis Blades just had it, just sailing through it, and then just one punch, pump.
Yeah,
and it's just out cold.
I did see today as well that apparently Daniel Cormier believes that Derek Lewis, not Francis Ngannou, is the hardest hitting heavyweight. I'm not sure what I think about that. I'm not sure. I feel like Cormier might be saying that because he's fought Derek Lewis and obviously beat him, so he's kind of trying to say like, oh, for anyone that thought that I didn't fight Francis because he's a hard hitter, I've already fought the hardest hitter. But it's an interesting take.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think of the other like big hitters.
It's hard to for me. It's hard to argue that anyone hits harder than Ngannou, to be honest.
No one definitely hits harder than him.
Yeah, like Derek Lewis is probably up there, and they've all got like they've both got the capability to switch anyone in that division off. I don't think anyone's got the chin to withstand one of their best, but yeah, I find it hard to argue that anyone hits harder than Gane, especially when he did the machine at the PI and recorded higher than, you know, his uppercut was more powerful than Tyrone Spong's kick, and you know Tyrone Spong's like, you know, a world class kickboxer.
Yeah.
Who, you know, obviously for years had the hardest kick.
I think you've got to. Yeah, I think if someone come up to you and said, pick one fighter to knock someone out, you're gonna say Ngannou.
Oh, absolutely.
Like no one's hitting harder than him, in my opinion. And I think it's him and then the rest.
I agree with you.
That dude, he's an absolute monster.
He is.
So it'd be interesting to see how he turns up for that second fight
with Steve
Miocic as well.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one. That next week? Is that next week's card?
No, the next week's Adesanya.
That's right, yeah.
That's the one with the 3 title fights on, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know, it's not too far after that though.
No,
I don't think so.
A couple of weeks after.
Yeah, but I suppose we'll come to that on a different one. But I'm torn with this main event, to be honest.
It is a tough one.
What are you thinking?
Well, for one, I don't think the fight's going the distance.
No.
Like, someone's getting out there. You know what? I'm going to go for Cyril Gane. And I think I'm going to go for a submission. I think that he's going to avoid that power and try and take him down and submit him. I think that's
I'll go the other way.
Okay.
I'll go the other way then. Make it interesting.
Rosenstrike by... it's got to be knockout, surely.
Oh, by knockout, definitely, yeah. 100%. KO. I'm going to go first round as well.
Yeah, I think if he catches him early. I think Gane might like feel him out for the first round, maybe let him wing a couple of punches, hoping it gets him a little bit more tired, a little bit less likely to defend the takeaway. So I think submission second round is what I'm going to go for.
Nice. Yeah, so moving away from UFC, there's been a couple of boxing news, if you like. Eddie Hearn came out and said that Canelo's next fight, possibly if he comes through the fight tomorrow, will be Billy Joe Saunders, which is probably the fight that we've been speaking about for about 2.5, 3 years now.
It's the fight most people want to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Eddie Hearn said that he feels Billy Joe's got the style to beat him.
Yeah.
It should be interesting because I know that Billy Joe is a good fighter, but he always seems to step up in the more bigger fights when that he's been in, rather than like there's some fights where you know he's going to win, so he just goes through the motions and wins. But he's a lot better when his back's against the wall, and that will certainly be the case if he fights Canelo.
Absolutely.
But Billy Joe's undefeated as well, so he's never tasted defeat. So he's going to be confident that he can beat Canelo as well. But Canelo's Canelo, isn't he? So
yeah,
I think it'll be very interesting.
It looks like he's I believe so. He fights Yildirim, a guy that I don't watch too much boxing, so I've never heard of, but it's for the WBA and WBC super middleweight belts. I presume they're both putting one of them up each, knowing boxing. So another belt to the Canelo arsenal, which I presume he'll take on if he does fight against Billy Joe to put up against him, trying to unify the division.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure what belts Canelo's got now, because he jumps up and down in light weights. Yeah. Like he's gone as high as light heavyweight to fight. and won a belt there, and then dropped back down, and then he's up and down all the time. So I'm not actually sure what kind of belts he's got now.
Yeah. Go fight at heavyweight, for God's sake. That's what we all want to see.
He might as well. He might
drag Fury's ass out there.
I think Canelo will win tomorrow. I'm hoping that they do make the fight with Billy Joe Canelo. I think that'll be the top fight.
Yeah.
But that's just what Eddie Hearn said. He believes that will be Canelo's next fight.
Yeah.
But the other news was Tyson Fury did an interview with I think it was an American YouTube channel. I think it was. He was speaking about obviously the Joshua fight that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
He's saying that the talks haven't got any further than where there was a year ago.
Yeah.
Which is probably a little worrying.
It's starting to look like it might not happen.
Yeah. It seemed like it was done after Joshua's last fight with Pula. Eddie Hearn said that they could make this fight in a couple of days. Like everything was set.
Yeah.
But now it's just dragging on. But I don't know whether that's down to like where they want to host it and stuff like that. Like with COVID and stuff like that. Yeah, so I don't think it's anything to do with the two fighters. I think they definitely want to fight each other.
Yeah.
I think it's like the niggly bits. If that makes sense. Like
definitely.
Where you're gonna hold it and stuff like that. I think they agreed on the purse, like the 50-50 split about 18 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't go ahead, that would be massively disappointing. That's obviously the one fight most fans want to see.
But they'll be uproar.
Yeah. Well, talking about disappointments. Next, let's move on to the cricket. Now that was disappointing. So England absolutely dismantled within 2 days. The entire game was 141 overs for 4 innings. So England 112 all out and 81 all out against India, who 145 all out and 49 without loss. So India win by 10 wickets within 2 days. Not the bounce back we predicted, is it? Yeah, not the bounce back we wanted to see. England played one spinner as well on a pitch that I believe 9 first innings wickets for India were spinners, and at all 10 in the second, I think. Yeah. So yeah, poor decision making potentially on the team choice, but I mean the only hope now is that I believe with India winning that test, we now can't qualify for the Test World Championship or something. I think we needed at least a 3-1.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a 3-1, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the only word you can use for that test match was pathetic.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Like, that's it. Like, whether it's a poor pitch or whether it's the pink ball, because it was like a day-night test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could that have been a factor? But then you think no, because they were shocking in the second test.
Yeah, and both teams had to play in those conditions. Yeah. So
it's the only word I can use for it is pathetic. And I reckon I'm struggling to find words.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was so bad.
It was
so bad. I think they're absolutely bricking it for the next test.
Yeah, I mean, if there's not some sort of response in this test, questions are going to get asked. I think a lot of questions are being asked about certain players anyway. I know there's a lot of people saying that Johnny Bairstow shouldn't be anywhere near the side currently. So I guess we gotta go again. At no point of recording this on Monday for a fixture that started on Wednesday did I think we'd be doing a result today. So, Jesus Christ, yeah.
I bet India like this.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that next test.
We have another one, lads.
Can't fucking wait for it.
I mean, if you beat them within 2 days, you might as well have had another game in the last 3 days.
I know. Probably would have beat us again, to be fair.
Probably.
I reckon they could have beat us twice within those 5 days.
Oh, absolutely. The way we were playing. They beat us another twice in that day, probably.
But, yeah. It's the only thing you can say is pathetic.
Yeah.
But,
true.
I mean, swiftly moving on from that.
Exactly, yeah.
We'll probably go on to the Rugby Union.
Yeah, I think
which starts again this weekend.
Yeah, 6 Nations.
Yeah, the big game obviously is England and Wales. The old enemy.
Yep. It's in Wales, I believe.
Yeah, so again, England haven't really been playing that well so far. I think Eddie Jones basically said this is do or die.
Yeah.
So I think Wales played 2-1-2.
Yeah,
so
because they come back late in that last game, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think it's a big game.
Yeah.
I just hope, fingers crossed, that we can not just beat them
convincingly,
but put them to the sword in their own backyard, which would be nice.
George slays the dragon.
Yeah, that would be perfect for the weekend. The game is Italy and Ireland. Probably only see one winner. Is Ireland.
Yeah.
And then the third game is postponed.
Yeah, due to positive COVID tests, I believe, on France's side.
Yeah. Surely you've got to ask questions like how they should be. I'm guessing they should be in their own little bubble. So one of them's obviously done something and gone outside the bubble, but someone into the bubble. So
yeah,
it'd be interesting to see how they've gone about that, because I think it's passed on to the other team members now, wasn't it? So
yeah, I believe there's been multiple positive tests in that one.
We'll see. I mean, that'll obviously affect the next game as well, won't it? But it's not really been spoken about yet. So whether they'll have to make changes and take the people out, whoever tests negative or positive or whatever like that, would be interesting to see. Yeah, but that game's definitely off. But I'm going to go with an Ireland to beat Italy comfortably.
Yeah.
And England are going to go to Wales and will win.
Okay. I mean, I don't know too much, but I'm going to stand up for my country and agree with you there. So I will also go Ireland to win and England.
I feel as if we need to stick up for England in the rugby because we cannot possibly do it in the cricket.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah. There's no support in that.
So yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yeah. Right. I think that wraps up everything that we had. Unless you've got any more things to
add. No, I think that's everything. I think obviously we're gonna be doing the obviously the recap in the next video.
Yeah.
And then we possibly might have another podcast during the week before the preview next week.
Yeah.
We're just not 100% sure on
it. Once we know, you'll know.
Yeah. So, as I say, make sure like, subscribe, turn the bell on.
Yeah.
You'll be first to see. But hopefully, if everything goes good, we should have a podcast next week.
Yeah. And one thing that we always forget to mention at the end is we are on Twitch as well. Our Twitch is linked down in the description. Play loads of different games, to be honest, and we'll both be streaming at some point. So check that out as well. And yeah, I think that's everything. So thanks for watching and goodbye.